Hello guys, and welcome to the short video in which I want to show you today one of the most important knife combat solo drills, which teach you the three most important principles if we're talking about using the knife in a real survival encounter. It's very important to understand if we want to get a realistic understanding about using the knife in a real survival encounter. It's very important that we have a realistic understanding about the dynamic of knife attacks on the street. If we're looking, for example, on real footages, we can see that the most knife attacks on the street are ambushes. Okay, and if we know the most knife attacks on the street are an ambush, then it's very important that we shape our training to the specific abilities which we need to increase our chance of survival, for example, in our case of an ambush. Because of this, we have to understand these three principles which I teach you now in this video, which can increase your chance of survival if you are forced to using a knife in a survival encounter against an armed aggressor. If we're talking about an ambush in which the aggressor is armed, it's very important to understand that we figure out which abilities and which skills we need to increase our chance of survival in such a situation. If we're talking about, for example, armed aggressors and how we can increase our chance of survival, first of all, it's very important that my opinion is, for example, that we need to be armed to defend ourselves against an armed aggressor. My opinion is you reduce your chance of survival if you are fighting against an armed aggressor, or if you are forced to defend yourself against an armed aggressor with empty hands. Because of this, first of all, it's very important, if you want or if you are forced to defend yourself against an armed aggressor, you have to be armed too. I mean with you have to be armed too, that you carry a tool with you which is allowed to carry in your country. Every country have different laws. Because of this, you have to find out which tools are give you the best chance of survival, but also which tools are allowed to carry for you. Now, if we're talking about the three most important principles of using the knife in a survival encounter, the first principle is the deployment. I already mentioned in a case of an ambush, for example, the fact that what we don't have is time. In an ambush, if the aggressor prepared his ambush very good, you don't have any chance to defend yourself if the ambush is very good prepared. But if you have a good, for example, a good situational awareness, and you see something is wrong, okay, and you realize, okay, this guy can be a potential threat, then you are prepared, and now you need the skill to implement your weapon very fast in the situation. This is very important here. For example, if I see this guy is a potential threat and I see he begin to rush me, I need the skill to deploy my tool very fast in this situation to use the tool. Okay, I need the tool to defend myself against the weapon which the aggressor has. For example, if I see the guy here is a potential threat and I see he tried to rush me, I need the skill to deploy my tool very fast. Okay, for example, I see he tried to rush me, I see, and I deploy my tool immediately. Okay, this is very important here. Again, I see, for example, he tried to rush me, I realized, I identified the threat, I see it, and I deploy my tool and I implement my tool in this situation to defend myself. That means I need deployment speed. I need the speed to implement my tool very fast in the situation. The second principle what I need, or which I need, is precision. Okay, precision is very important here. If the aggressor tried to rush me, here is more important in this situation, because he is a moving target. I need a precise strike to create time or to incapacitate the threat to evade from the situation. That means the first principle is a fast deployment. That means I deploy my weapon very fast, or I bring my tool very fast in the situation. The second principle is I need a precise strike to the target which can incapacitate the threat or give me time to evade. And the next point, what I'm talking about, is your movement. You need to move from your zone in which you are standing to increase your chance to not get fatally injured. This is very important here, okay? This is the most important point here. For example, if you have a fast deployment and a precise strike, but you have a target with, or you have a threat with unpredictable movement, and for example, you step to the target and you don't hit a vital zone, or you don't hit a zone which gives you time to evade, and he continue his attack, then you need to bring your body out from the zone here. For example, he tried to rush me and I realized the attack, okay? I step and I have to go from this zone here, okay? This is very important here. This three principles, that means I realize the threat, I see he rushed me, I need a fast deployment, I need a precise strike, and now I need to move my body from the danger zone here, okay? I see he rushed me, I step and I go from my zone. If we understand now which are the three most important principles are of using the knife in our survival encounter, now I try to show you the drill in which you can combine these three principles. Now we can talking about the drill which can help you to put this all three principles together to give you a better understanding to using these three principles. So only what we need is a target, okay, but it's not necessary. You can also hit in the air, okay, but it's better if you have a target to look how in which zone you try to step, okay. But only what we need is a slip back, okay. Boxers, I will know what kind of tool is this. For the people which don't know for what this tool is to improve your ability to slip punches, okay. It's for to learn better slipping punches. So what I do now again is I let the slip back swing, okay, and if I see the slip back come to me, this is the moment in which I realized or I identify the threat, and in this moment I have to deploy my tool to strike a shock zone, okay, to strike a shock zone like the triad, the ice, or whatever you want, okay, and after this you go from the attack line. This is very important here, because he tried to attack you too. Because of this, after you strike, you have to go from the attack line to not get hit by the slip back. If we understand the movement, now we can implement the identification of the weapon, okay? So this makes the drill a little bit more difficult, and you need to be a little bit faster because it takes a little bit time to identify the threat, okay? So because of this, I let the slip back swing again, okay? And now in this time I identify the threat, and now I deploy my tool and go from the attack line. Now you have to be faster because it takes a little bit more time that you identify, and the slip back will be here, and you have to be very fast to go from the attack line. So now if we understand the movement, now we can put the identification of the weapon in the drill. This makes the drill a little bit more difficult because it takes now a little bit more time to identify the weapon, but it makes more difficult to not get hit by the slip back, because now you need a faster deployment. So that means I let the slip back swing again, okay? Like here, I identify the thread and I go from the X. So again, I let the slip back swing, I identify the thread and I go from the X. Again, I let the slip back swing, I identify the thread and I go from the X. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope I can improve a little bit your level of training, and if you have questions, you can give me a comment under the comment section. Thank you very much. See you next time.